Everyone back again. Did you all watch the game? Spain are through, eh? Not a bad side. Lots of people were wanting the French to win, obviously, and a lot of people were wanting Spain to win. I'm made up that they won, to be honest. I don't like that Didier Deschamps. Never liked him, even as a player. He always seemed to be moaning. But that's me. That's just me. Don't know about you lot. But, you wanted to win, or you weren't bothered. You were neutral. So, I fly JK and guest says Richard Hutchinson. Hi mate. He sent that at 5:30 this afternoon. 5:30. He's sitting there waiting to go on. Even if Frank and Cat Chatters says TW74. Hiya T. Hiya T. Hope you enjoyed the game. You watched. Paul Turner. Even if Frank, hope you're okay. Yeah. Thank you, Paul. Yeah. As I said, I was just watching that game and like France came back to me in the second half and I thought Mbappe, I think about 5 minutes ago or something, he was through. I thought he was going to bury it. And then we was about extra time. But no, blazed it over the bar. A little bit of Darwin went into the moment when he hit it. Alinus, all the way from Romania. Hello. Hello, Ali. Hello, mate. Hope you're well over there. Even if Frank and Chatty and Mac are here. It's amazing, isn't it? The way the Euros have been going. And the way, as you know, I don't support England. I don't support them at all. And they've been very lucky. They've been very lucky. And there's been some comments on social network, And no name, like, because I think everybody knows this fella. He said, let's bring it home. And I said, bring what home? I answered, I said, bring what home? I said, it's still like all the hype over the years, every tournament. Let's bring it home. Let's bring it home. It's coming home and all this. And I went through from 66. I said, never won the Euro. But I said, from the last time England won a trophy, I went through loads of things. Loads. Like man landing on the moon. Since, probes out of our solar system. We've sent probes out of our solar system. All mad things I was saying. All mad things. And, give him his due. He got back. He likes what I wrote. He never said anything. He just, just liked what I said. But I went through loads. And I made loads. Big list of them. Big list of them. He even mentions Everton winning a trophy since England's last won a trophy. Sorry, Blues, if any of your Blues looking in. I'm just saying that. Anyway, lots of lightning, Frank, unless it's War of the Worlds. It's funny enough, like I've read War of the Worlds. I've got an English literature class of a Wednesday morning. We've done that War of the Worlds, and we've just finished off the Day of the Triffids. See, War of the Worlds was set in London, around Surrey way. You know, the book. And even Day of the Triffids was set in this country. But once the Americans get their hands on it, whoa, it's all set in America. It's like where all the UFOs land, all the UAPs in America. Nothing else. America saves the world, you see. So, Day of the Triffids, cracker. Unlike the films, it's great it is. True, Spain had some very hard games, says Ali Danous. Yes. Yes, Ali, they did. And the likes of England, the hardest game they had, who they came up against, was Switzerland. And they were very lucky. They've been lucky in every game. But now you're getting, it's coming home. But I said Spain will win us after the Azori went out. Because I support the Azori. And Ian Mack, balls of international footy. Now, Frank, can't wait to get back to Liverpool footy again with the Reds. Yeah. So, I haven't watched loads, you know. I haven't watched loads. Yeah. Honestly, I haven't. And Judge Red. Judge Red. Great name. Even if Frank looks like John Henry will be opening a bottle of Bordeaux Red soon. Disgusting. I don't know what you think of that, boys and girls. If there's any girls on later, right? But I don't know what you think of that. I'll just read Gary Rigby. Frank, can I recommend a brilliant YouTube video exploring hidden Liverpool? And it's on a channel called Rob's London. Well, we're watching. Yeah, I was looking, and I wasn't looking. I've seen the title today. You know, but yeah, you know, you get time to have a look. I'm too busy with JK. Trying to get to
How you doing? How you are, bro?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm all well. I'm all good. Just watched the game. It was a good game. Yeah. Good. First half was good. I thought they didn't sit back, you know. Sort of second half was a bit more quiet, but it was a good first half.
Yeah. Spain done enough for me. And as I mentioned there before, I don't know whether you heard me. I said, I hope, I don't know if I just fancied Spain to go on and win it.
Yeah. My prediction was 2-1 before the game.
Was it?
So, yeah. I do this, like, there's a fantasy UEFA thing where you can predict the scores. I wrote 2-1.
Right.
Yeah, but with France scoring first, not Mbappe. I wanted Mbappe to score first, but I picked the other guy. But I got it right.
I'll tell you what, though, that's the way they came back, Spain, and that young kid on the wing. He's a crack. 16.
He's 16 as well.
Yeah, 16.
You know? So
he played like a man.
Playing at the highest stage, he's playing for the international team in the European Championships. World Cup is next for him, you know. So still, he's the youngest goal scorer in the Euros ever. And I think what it is, like the youth, a lot of people couldn't play at 16. I think Stevie Gerrard started at 17, I think he started. There's only a few players who can really start at that age, 16, 17, straight into the team. And like international duty at 16, mad.
Well, you know, we've got a couple of young kids ourselves. I just want to go back to something. And it's what Judge Red said. Even if Frank looks like John Henry will be opening a bottle of Bordeaux, you know, bottle of Bordeaux Red soon. And Steve Evans. I've Edwards and his mate left yet. You know, and even TW says if the Yanks have money to burn and send it our way so we can buy some serious footballers instead of these no-hope kids that ends up at Bolton. FSG really pissed me off. You can say piss me off, you know. Come on, that. You don't use the F word because JK uses the F word a hell of a lot of times, and you get banned.
Fishing, yeah. I heard the news this morning about I think we're gonna do something with Bordeaux. I've been against it. Like for me, Liverpool, a unique football club. That's why we support it. You know, the very reason why we support Liverpool, because there's no other club like us. I don't want to be connected to any club. I don't care who you are. It could be even a Sunday league team. I don't want to be connected to you. We're Liverpool. I just want Liverpool to be on its own. And I'm surprised there's no fans moaning about this.
I know. You know? Well, Steve Evans, he fucked me up. He had something.
He will be. Fair play to him, you know.
That's why he said there, have they left yet?
Yeah, same as TW, bro. Yeah, even he's on our wavelength. But when I heard the news this morning, I'm just thinking, it's all about making themselves bigger as a sports firm on the back of our club badge, you know. That's how they've done it, you know. And the way they sort of got rid of Klopp at the end showed me their true colours. The way they sort of just pushed him out, got Edwards in straight away, and showed me their true colours. So for me, whatever they do, it doesn't bring me any joy at all. Since I just realised, like, as soon as I seen the summer transfer window after the Champions League win, showed me everything I needed to know. So since that day, anyway, how many years ago was that? Showed me their true colours, you know. So, and they're giving pop stars who shouldn't even be at Anfield like 3 shows in a week or whatever. Come on, man, you know. Well, not at Anfield. You can do it at Old Trafford, I don't care, but not at Anfield.
Yeah, well, that's it. You see, you know, I remember going to see Paul McCartney there, you know, a few years ago at Anfield, and it was great, you know, to be honest. But now everything's changed, if you know what I mean. Everything has changed. And as you said, I don't know, we could dig holes for ourselves, and let's see what the lads are saying. Watching the game tomorrow, says Judge Red. I think I'll be supporting Verge and Cody. If that's it. No.
That's by all means. Every Liverpool fan is. Every Liverpool fan, yeah.
Yeah, well, the thing is, someone put up, as I said, I don't go on social media a lot nowadays, but I do go on like sometimes and scroll down to see what's happening. And there's a fella, some Irish lad, and he said, looks like that the, you know, Scouse not English has gone out the window with all the Scousers supporting England. But he was lambasted for it, so, you know. And I just said, listen, just stick to what you know, not what you think you know. Where you're at, way out. And what's this about bringing Heitzinger in? Bad effing move, that, says Steve Evans. There you go.
Yeah, the old Everton defender. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, Say, look, they're all mates, mate. Honestly, Steve, they're all
Yeah.
mates. They're all mates. Even players, they're mates. You know, it's going to play for Liverpool. Yeah, all right.
Hmm.
And that's the way it is. Mary Stan, greetings. That Bordeaux media is BS. In May, the USA became insolvent. In May, the USA became insolvent. That is bankrupt. Therefore, Fenway is zero. I don't understand this. Don't like Spanish team, good footy, but all the extra triathlon is unnecessary. No sir, says Mary. Well, it's whatever you choose your thing, Mary. It really is. Um, and Brian, the sooner the 2024 Robot Wars is over, the better. A good first start tonight, but back to the same crap after. It's a case of you shall not pass. Let's get it. Let's get it extra time football. Very, very poor. That's what Brian says.
Yeah, first half was good. Yeah.
And Gary Rigby says, good to see you from an outsider's view. You're right. You're right. And Gary carries on by saying, sorry, I won't go on. I know it's a footy show. It's all right. It is a footy show. If you want to talk something different, no problem. We have a film show.
Which
What
ends up
about
in football.
all the weather and everything we talk about?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Kitchen down here now. Oh, it's ridiculous. This. And someone said, there's going to be a heat wave next week, Frank. Pissing down.
Hmm.
Freezing. It's unbelievable.
You know, as soon as someone says that in the summer, you know it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
It's
especially
when
here.
no one says nothing, it comes. Yeah.
Yeah, especially here.
Yeah.
As I said the other last week, was it? I said, like the week before, was it the end of June? I don't know when it was. Yeah, the end of June. We had a heat wave for a day. For a day.
Hmm.
That was it. The next day it was freezing. We had all the Atlantic weather coming on, freezing cold.
Hmm.
The Anfield Roar, even a Frank and JK, have a good drink on me. Look at all that.
Nice one, bro.
Can't wait to see England tonight tomorrow night. Brutal they are, says Brian. Yeah. Spain were good tonight, though. France were very flat, says the Yeah, they were.
They were. Considering the talent they've got, Dembele, Mbappe.
Yeah.
Starting Griezmann on the bench was, for me, the wrong move. I think Griezmann thinks before he makes a move, where any of the players in that team don't really do that. But for me, putting him on the bench was not a good move.
See, as I said, I've never liked that Deschamps. I've never liked him, even as a player. I just didn't like. He's always got a moany face.
Yeah.
You know, a moany face.
Yeah. Like Roy Keane sort of style. Always like,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know what
but
I
he's
mean?
got an angry face, hasn't he? But this
Yeah.
fella has a moany face.
Hmm.
He must be sick. Well, that's the end of his job.
Do you reckon? I
Um,
reckon he's doing pretty well though, considering like he's got into a few finals and stuff like that. He's won a few
yeah,
things. He
yeah,
might be able to stay on. I don't know. I think he's staying on for the World Cup. I think the commentator was saying at the end. I'm sure he's staying on.
yeah. Oh well, I don't know, but the way Macron's being slaughtered in the opinion in the elections, I don't know. Everything's going up in France, so he might just go up. But that's another story. And the Boogie Boy, never heard of the Boogie Boy before. Hi Frank, hope you're well. Thank you, Boogie Boy. Booger Boy. Booger Boy, isn't it? And Youssef. Hi Tinga, the ex-Everton player. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. That's
They're all
like
mates,
that.
mate.
You remember that advert when he says Acton Stanley? Exactly. You know, I wanted to
Yeah,
come out with that. I was trying to do it in a Scouse
like,
accent. It wasn't coming out.
Accrington Stanley. It's like, I sing it.
He's one from Everton. Exactly.
From Everton. Exactly.
Yeah.
Steve LFC couldn't give a toss about England, if I'm completely honest. Is your mate?
Majority of England fans, Liverpool fans, are like that.
Exactly. Absolutely. Absolutely, JK. Anyway, evening, Frank and JK, says Steve.
Evening, Steve. Hey, you up?
As you were, yes. Ali Danouche says, lost my €200 ticket on one fault. Damn. Lost my €200 ticket on one fault. What's that? Did you do the lottery or something? I don't understand that, Ali.
Could be accumulator. Maybe did it accumulator.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh,
You maybe
that's
got one wrong. Yeah.
You might have said 2-0, mightn't you?
You might have.
Might have said 2-0. The Boogie Boy. Not being funny. When everyone says, I'm not being funny, there's always something coming after it.
Mm-hmm.
But when they give a referee that has been banned for a match fixing the appointment of a game, something's wrong. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
It was this game, this referee for this game, was it?
I don't know, was it?
I'm not sure if it was this referee or was it one for the England game tomorrow. I know it's one of them anyway.
Oh, well, I think Gareth Southgate and the King Charles will have a words in his ear then.
Mm-hmm.
So if he becomes a knight, you know that he's being fixed. You know that he's being touched up. Not being funny, it's great now. Not being funny, great saying that. Not being funny, Scout saying. Steve Evans, I hope it's not pissing down Friday. Gig, Sevy Park, not wearing farmer's boots. Well, you will be, mate. Well, I think it's going to be a little bit dry. But we're still getting the North Atlantic winds coming down, from the Arctic.
Crazy.
So the wind will be cold. You touch the wind. But if you're in the sun and there's no wind, no breeze, you're all right. Because the sun's very strong at this time of the year. But the air is cold. And what's that? Orange boom tomorrow. Orange. Is that orange boom?
Yeah, orange boom. The Dutch.
Oh, the Dutch. Yes, sorry there. Yes, as Steve Evans says. You can tell Steve supports England, can't you? All the lads. And the Anfield, so much for global warming. I had to stand in the oven to warm up. Listen,
That's what I mean. Global warming, yeah.
I'm still wearing my pajamas. Going to bed wearing pajamas.
In the summer, mad.
Oh, blimey. I had to stand in the oven to warm up. Well, I'm putting the oven on now, to warm the bloody place up. And that's like cooking, so I'm doing some cooking that you'll have to use the oven. You're putting the oven on. Normally, everything just goes in the mic, but that's the way it is. Deschamps was a beaut. Steve Evans. He's absolutely a beaut. Booger boy. Just turn the oven off. You turn the oven on to keep on. turn me up and up. Got to get into things here. Maurice Dan, I think Mbappe was in effect. It just showed, like Bellingham, he's a Hollywood player. The Reds should only have some mature players. Shame that Conte didn't come a couple of seasons ago. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, Kante still, like, if we had him last season, we would have won the league with him. What a solid, no thrills, just gets the job done football player. Mbappe, for me, yeah, exactly, he was ineffective. He had one chance in the second half to score, but realistically, not really involved in the game. Dembele as well. Yeah.
If we, didn't we go after Rodri at one time as well?
Oh, that would have been the jigsaw piece we needed.
Yeah.
We had Rodri. What a player. For me, if I was going to choose any player in the world to have, I'll probably go for Rodri, if I could have him. Because for me, that's all we need. If we had him last season, that league was ours. I'm telling you now, 100%. That's how important defensive midfielder is for us, That's one thing we hope they're sorting out behind the scenes, looking at some DMs that can do a job, not just Endo on his own at 31 years age,
Yeah, this is it. We've got to get a DM in. We have to. I was looking at, what's his name, David Lynch. David, he's a nice lad and all that, his pod. But he just waffles on. And he bigs up everybody. We've got this other fella now named Briggs. Briggs. He was bigging them up.
Okay.
I was going, what's he bigging them up for? He said, he's been over to Germany and he was at Monaco, all great teams. I'm going, why are we bringing him here? He's I don't know what he is. I haven't a clue what he is. He works with the academy. I forget it. And he was just going on. And I went, well, anyway, we brought him in. Another sleuth fella for the backroom stuff. The Boogie Boys. Mbappe is miles behind Bellingham and Junior.
Yeah, have to agree.
Remember Jürgen's words, I have to leave Hettinger. This could be the start of what he was saying, says Brian. I'll never forget what he said. Never forget what he said. I wanted to stay, but I had to leave.
Yeah.
Never forget that.
Deep words, them.
Very deep.
Yeah.
Very deep.
I know what it was, and some of the fans didn't really put two and two together and realize, like question what was he meaning by that. In other words, the people who are paying his wages are actually doing his head in, and if he realized if he carried on staying there, they're gonna mess his health up. Maybe not one fan with a brain said, you know what, that's true. Our owner's a bit of a. Not really nice people, Edwards and all this type of people. Not one. They're more interested in Edwards coming in, not thinking about Klopp's welfare. Klopp saying, I had to leave. They're big words. Words.
Exactly.
I think football fans need to wake up a little bit. I think they're living in a delusional world ever since the internet came. They don't understand life and football and the meaning of the game. Like Jurgen Klopp gave us 10 years of his life, and he gave 100%. Shoestring budget, we had teams like West Ham, Villa paying more for players than we were. You know what I'm saying? So that's what Klopp had to work with. And still to this day, you got people like sort of, I've heard it in the last 3 months anyway, a lot of content creators sort of dissing Klopp, Imagine we gave these guys the budget that Klopp had. Any of these guys who were doing their own channels and stuff. You go and do the job Klopp did. you'd be relegating us to the Vauxhall Conference. You know what I mean? If that still exists.
Well, if you look at it, you know, with other fans as well, so, you know, Liverpool fans, they think that the owners are doing a remarkable job. And I just think, well, if they're doing a remarkable job, we could have won a lot more if they would have invested more.
Mm-hmm.
But they still say, but look who we bought. And they name players, you know, the likes of Virgil always comes out, you know, the Virgil always gets mentioned, Ali always gets mentioned, Mo Salah, they all get mentioned. You know, they bought them. But they forget that they've been at the helm for years. And we're a sell-to-buy club. If Coutinho wouldn't have been sold, we would have never have got Ali. No
Exactly.
Virgil. And, you know, this is what they can't resonate with.
Yep.
They're just fans, but you know, and this is the point of they're going after other franchises in sport. Look what they own a baseball club,
Mm-hmm.
and the baseball fans over there, Red Sox, they despise them. They despise the owners. So something is wrong somewhere. They own other franchises, even a golf bloody thing. I think they signed up. I forget who they
Yeah, golf.
signed up.
Yeah, something to do with golf. Yeah.
Yeah. Tiger Woods, I'm sure they signed him up. And you know, this costs all money. This costs a hell of a lot of money. So they're not investing in Liverpool. And they say, well, you know, the other fans say, well, you know, they built the new stands. No, they didn't. We built it. Us. The Annie Road stand's not even bloody finished.
Yeah.
I was watching it today. I was watching the drone, one of the drone lads. And I couldn't believe it. You know, there is still work going on. Cheap. They brought in the cheapest. And right through from last year, I was saying on the pods as well, these only have the lads working at a weekend to try and finish the stand up. They never had anyone working at weekends. And they're still trying to finish us off today.
Yeah,
It's
because you have to pay
absolutely
more. You have to pay more for weekend workers. There you go.
exactly.
There you go.
Exactly. Exactly. Do you know, like if it would have been another company, just suppose that would have been well finished. It would have
Mm-hmm.
been well finished. And not only that, if it wouldn't have been finished, he would have had what I call ants on the job. They would have just got loads more in. Get
Mm-hmm.
this job done. Get it done. But as I said, they're still bloody working on it. It's disgusting. Disgusting. The oven is dormant, says the judge. Can't get warm off the air fryer. I've got an air fryer myself. I've had a few air fryers, by the way. And Mary Stan, Anfield Road, I don't think you understand global warming. It just means it's all upside down. Don't argue with our fellow Reds. We all know what global warming is, Mary. We all do. We all follow Greta Thunberg. Well, she's a dope. Greta Thunberg. You know, it's going
Something like The
around.
Simpsons. Yeah.
It's an absolute divvy. That girl. She's a divvy.
Yeah,
You know,
actress. Yeah.
the Nord Stream pipeline blown up by the Americans. Not one word, and it caused more damage to the environment, to the ozone layer, as not one word came out of it. That's enough about that. There are players in the Premier ahead of Mbappe. Yeah, there are players ahead of there are a few. Yeah, I agree with you there, Boogie
Mm-hmm.
Boy. Even if Frank and JK says the bear.
Best, Bear. Hope you're well.
It's always made me laugh that ref Anthony Taylor was England's choice as ref in the Euros, even though he was relegated to the Championship this season, gone for being crap at the top level. This is it. This is it. This is how bad it is. You've got to go back to the days. I was only talking, when you're seeing like Italian sides. I'm just saying that because I support Italy, always have done. When you go back to those sides, you go back to the Brazilian sides, you go back to the great Spanish sides, the great German sides. They've all gone. There's no one at their level today. There's nobody at their level today. Unbelievable. And I'm talking about through the decades, by the way. There's nobody at their level. There's no other player. Say, like, let's pick a player from the Azzurri. Say, like Del Piero. There's no other Italian player like him. Not at his level. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. There's not. You can pick any Brazilian player and say they're not at their level. Today's Brazilian players I'm talking about.
Of course.
Any German players as well.
Yep.
There's none at their level. None whatsoever.
Look at Germany, for example, Frank. You got Havertz and Füllkrug, and then back in the days you had Klinsmann, Rudi Voller, Miroslav Klose, goal scorers. This football. It so amazes me how football's gone downhill, quality-wise. Like the Italian days, Italians were the guys who sent world stars out there on the stage. They made the superstars, not England. You know what I mean? It was Italy, Del Piero, Roberto Baggio, big names, And like me and you've had this conversation above. They had Shamaka as their striker up top, who played for West Ham. Told me everything I need to know about Italian football.
Exactly. And when you go back as well to the likes of, who you've just been mentioning, the likes of Maldini. The likes of, look who's the 12th man.
Bless, bro. Nice to see you, bro.
Yeah, no doubt. I just got done my stream, and I got a shout from JK, and I said, of course, I'd love to be a guest. So,
come on, bro.
We're just talking 12. We're just talking about some players today who are not international players for their countries, who are not at the level of former players in the past. If you know what I mean. I mentioned about Del Piero, playing for Italy, for example. No player at his level, no player whatsoever, and that goes all around the world, the global world of football, if you know what I mean. There's no one today.
I was just about to say, the broadcast that we get for Euros, for instance, the panel was Peter Schmeichel, had Daniel Sturridge, and Chiellini, right? The Italian. He's playing now in America. Was playing for. I'm not sure if he's playing next. If he's continuing on or not, but he was playing for the LA Galaxy. I mean, these are some great players. All for and had storied years with their national teams too. And
Chiellini was a great player.
Yes.
Great player. But this is what we're talking about, you see. And it's players that's why international football has dropped so much, because we all looked at the Euros, we all were getting excited and in the past today.
Can I say something maybe controversial though? Can I say something maybe controversial here?
No.
Could you? This is just a out of the box concept.
You can't say nothing controversial.
Nothing controversial.
Go on.
Could it be that? Could it be that our love affair with Messi and Ronaldo has had some effect on what you're saying? Because Messi and Ronaldo were such huge stars, it seems like so many names during the decade or more that they basically ran Europe when it came to attention. Could it be that this is why we're not seeing or being able to see bigger names or bigger players? There's so many years that I think that Messi, and it was either Messi or Ronaldo that were going to win the Ballon d'Or, for instance. It was always one or the other. But
it was one or the other, yeah.
But there were players that during those decades or during those eras that arguably were better players during that run. But it just seems that Messi and Ronaldo's name brand recognition was so enormous that a lot of these players never got the opportunities.
But that's why, if you look at their ages now, they're well into, there's Ronaldo, 40.
Yeah.
And this is what I mean about players who are not coming up to their level anywhere in the world. Because you can't take anything away from Ronaldo. You can't take anything away from Messi.
Oh, yes. I'm not saying this.
Yeah, do you see what I mean?
Right.
But the likes of other countries, for example, look at Argentina, right? Look at Argentina. Great side. They've won a World Cup and everything else. But there was no one to touch Messi. They weren't at their level.
Right.
Any player wasn't at his level, if you know what I mean. And it's the same as Ronaldo. Albeit that they had good players, great players, but they weren't at their level. That's all that I'm talking about. That's why I could be talking through my backside. Just a feeling, what's he going on about? But I wouldn't blame them for saying that about me, if you know what I mean. But I just
no, I understand what your point is, certainly, and that's the reason why I was making that point for at least for Ronaldo, for instance. There's those of us that I personally thought that Ronaldo shouldn't have started, for instance, for Portugal. Yeah. I think that Diego should have started possibly, or there's other players that could have started in front of Ronaldo. But because Ronaldo is Ronaldo, you don't get that changing of the guard. I'm not saying that Messi has a natural player that could possibly be what he is to Argentina. I'm not saying that, but it's very interesting that there's that viral sensation right now that's going on about Messi holding Yamal, the Spanish player, as a baby. He's holding him as a newborn baby, and here is this Lamine Yamal being like the breakout player today in that game for Spain against France. It's one of those cases where it's like these Messi and Ronaldo are such incredible generational talented stars that sometimes because they were at such high levels, I don't think that there was enough spotlight that could be shared by other players. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, I agree with you because look at Mo Salah at his peak for Liverpool.
Yeah.
Look at the goals he scored. Look at the way he took defences apart, and those 4 goals or 5 goals he scored. One against Manchester City, which was incredible, where he just beat everybody. The one against Everton, where he just beat everybody. The one against Spurs, where he beat everybody. The one against Watford, where he just went. Incredible goals.
Yeah.
And at the time, he was best. He was the best player in the world, better than Messi, better than Ronaldo.
Absolutely.
I just want to go through some comments here up on my lads.
Sure.
And Brian says, I agree, Boogie Boy. I wouldn't swap Mbappe for Jota for the start. There you go. Steve says, what do you think of the young Chelsea lad coming in and City youth coach coming in? That's he was the City coach years ago. That's that Briggs fella. And why did he leave Man City? Why did that was years ago.
Yeah. The rats leave that's what they say when the Titanic was going down, you saw the rats leaving the ship.
Exactly. And we've got him. Oh, blimey. We've got him. Let's go through a few more. Steve Evans. Not cold here. My plums are swimming in the way.
I don't want to talk about cold. It's 45 degrees Celsius here, guys. It's where I live. It's 45 degrees Celsius. I don't want to talk about cold. I would love some cold right now.
That's one of our lads says it here. He's sitting in the oven to get warm. Mm-hmm. The Anfield, I'm not going through that. Well, on the phone, I think we're better than Mbappe, says the boogie boy. And Mary's all the way from Montenegro, by the way. JK, I make you right about a TM, but I really don't think there are that many about. There is, Mary, there is.
But not for me. There's not a DM that's world class. Good. There's some good DMs, but not for me world class. Rodri levels, but that's the level I'm looking at. If I want a DM, I want him to be as good as Rodri. For me, Rodri is number one in the world in that position.
I'll pay the money. And as what she means there as well about the Fulham lad, that was Polina. She's going on about Polina. I was a love to
Bayern, I think.
Oh, why didn't we get him? We could have had him.
Even in January, we could have pushed for him if we wanted to.
Easy. But we just won't pay out. It's as simple as that.
Bayern have, in the last few weeks, got him in and got the guy from Crystal Palace in, I think, Elise. So, boom. Straight away, they got two guys in they needed.
Well, the Anfield Roar says, and it's just what we've been talking about. Does anyone else agree that international football points out the standard of football players has diminished in the last 20 years? This has been the worst festival of football ever. And that's what he says. I've said it all the time. Because they're not at that level. They're not at that level, unfortunately.
I feel that look over the last 15, 20 years, stats have come in. Football is like this. When you lose the football, you lose the game. And hence why people like Messi, who could keep the ball, there won't be any more like him because players can't keep the ball. Diaz is the only guy in our team really who can keep the ball longer than 10 seconds. They don't want players to lose the ball. Hence why, when you're young, you keep the ball, you dribble, you get tackled, you carry on, you get the ball, you dribble. Yeah. And they want that out of the game. They want guys who can hold the ball, pass, run, pass the ball, run. Nothing else. That's why the football's going downhill.
Ronaldinho has said that about Brazil, for instance. He's been very critical of Brazil's team. Ronaldinho, one of the greatest players of all time, especially when it comes to dribbling and the likes. Brilliant. And he said that very, very. Look, the players, for instance, that Brazil had in their midfield going into that game. Also, by the way, I don't understand how people could start to try to blame Ali as being the reason why Brazil lost that game. Let's not, I've heard people come out try to diminish him being a world talented goalkeeper because of his penalty kicks or something like that record. That's just nonsense and silly talk, in my opinion. I still think that Ali is one of the greatest, if not the best goalkeeper in the world right now.
He is the best in the world today.
He's the best.
Yeah, but there are people, for some reason, people are trying to take shots at him as blaming him for the reason why Brazil can't score. that's in my personal opinion. What you're saying is a lot of the technical players that you're speaking on, your Messi's, or obviously I just spoke on Ronaldinho's, but like asking these Xabi Alonso's, these players that have like incredible ability. Even Thiago, let's give a shout out. I see that Thiago. Even your Thiagos of the world that have the ability to have the ball at their feet, be able to dribble, be able to distribute, be able to stretch the field, simply because you don't know what they're about to do. There's a limited number of those players nowadays, a very limited number of those players. So I agree with that.
It's true, bro, because that's why Trent hasn't had a game in the Euros, because he's the type of guy to do that pass the ball from the defense and switch it into attack. Trippier doesn't do that. Walker won't even do that, really. And Trent is the only guy. Hence, him not getting game time shows the current state of world football. Talented players like Trent won't get game time in an England team. Tells me everything you need to know.
Yeah,
big time.
Look, I think Junior's. I think Vinicius Junior is one of the a phenomenal player. But do I think of Vinicius Junior in the same confines of some of the Brazilian greats? Not at this stage. No, I don't. Unfortunately, and that's not a knock against Junior. It's not me saying that Junior is bad. I'm just saying.
It's facts what you're saying.
Right. Yep. And again, I have a little bit more of a vested interest in Copa. I've been watching a lot more of Copa. I've been watching Euros, but I've been watching a little bit more of Copa than Euros. So that's why it's a little bit heavily on my mind.
Well, the Scottish Bear says, I agree with JK that with Rodri as a player. Yeah, absolutely.
What a player.
Absolutely. Great player. Yeah, says the Boogie Boy. I do agree with you. It's been a poor Euros, one of the worst I've seen in years, and this is what it's all about. And poor Mary Stan says she's had a few bevies, and in other words, she doesn't know what she's talking about because she calls on That's what it feels like, Roy, after that. A disaster. Yeah, of course, it's been a disaster. Social media ruined football, says Yusuf. We're getting 12-year-olds on Twitter who haven't got out of their mum's basement rating, bang average players, hyping them up into oblivion. Absolutely. We're screaming out for a quality DM. We are screaming out for a quality DM, and we have been since Ginny left, to be honest. We have been. Now, the point is, I'm trying to make here, is that Liverpool, and this is where this, I don't mind this, Geno. I don't mind David Lynch's name is.
Yeah.
He bigs up everybody. He's just bigging them up. Like this young kid who we bought from Chelsea. 15 years of age. 15. And we're screaming out for a DM for next season. And, and he bigs up everybody. And of course, what the effing hell are you going on about? He's just waffling on about it. Oh, I've dug deep into this, and going on. But I like David. He is a nice fella. And he does but he bigs up everybody. And coming on. Like I've just said, what are we going after a 15-year-old for? What for? We want a DM. Not a 15-year-old lad. We've got loads of 15-year-old lads. We've got loads of 6-year-olds at the academy. And 15-year-olds and 14-year-olds and 11-year-olds and 12-year-olds and 10-year-olds. He could be as good as he could be another Brewster.
You know what? The way the news broke yesterday,
Don't be so harsh.
Yeah, but for me, the way the news broke yesterday, it's like we bought John Barnes or Michel Platini. Like the way they were going on about it yesterday, we bought this lad from Chelsea. I thought Panelka or someone like this. We've got some big player, Same as Jamal. After he scored today, that goal is a good goal. Don't get me wrong, and he's a good player. But someone wrote there in the comments, Booger Boy, about Messi at his age, 16, 17. he was taking 4 guys on every game and doing stuff like that,
Yeah.
And he's a good player, Yamal, don't get me wrong, but I don't like ever hyping youth players up. Pressure destroys players. That's why people don't make it in the game, is because of the pressure. Some people can handle pressure, but some kids can't. And that's why, for me, I never hype. Look at Kwanzaa and Connor Bradley. They never got hyped up. They just walked into the team and did the job. Then they got hyped up the way it should be. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So potential it's a big word, potential. But I think when you put the pressure on the youth players, some of them can handle it, and that's why a lot of them don't make it in the game.
See, I'm not having a go. I'm not having a go at the lads. But I think there's more priorities. This is what I'm saying. There's more priorities than getting it and hyping them up and going, we've got a potential. We've got loads of potential. Lots of them. And that's what really annoys me. That's what annoys me with things. And as Yusuf said there, what does Bonkers say? Because he gets did you see Mane's statue in his own town of Senegal? No, I haven't, Bonkers. And Bonkers LFC did have his 8 wives in the statue. Oh, come on, I'm feeling raw.
Oh, goodness.
Behave now.
Oh, goodness. He's an absolutely credible supporter of his hometown and country. Mane does incredible things when it comes to nonprofit, and he gives a portion of his salary goes to supporting projects back in his home country. That's commendable.
He's a philanthropist. He's a philanthropist in where he lived.
Yeah.
He's built hospitals, schools, like Mo Salah. Hospitals and schools, and give them a proper football pitch, a little stadium.
Yeah.
That's what people do.
It's different. There's a different amount of responsibility that's put on the shoulders of like your Manes and your Salahs, as opposed to some of the other players that come from, more prosperous European countries. I would say like that. They don't have to take on those burdens.
Absolutely. And Jürgen made miracles despite Fenway. I don't think a Sloot is big enough to carry the pressure with only 5 years Dutch league experience, and that's one of my concerns, to be honest. 5 years experience, and this is what I've said before. We're Liverpool Football Club, with the greatest British club proven historically in the UK, the greatest. No one can come near us, and yet we're bringing it. I said it when I was on LFC TV that time. When Hodgson came, I said he's too old. I said the game's bypassed him. We're Liverpool, and when the Irish fella, I don't like mentioning his name, when the Irishman came in, I said, what are we bringing him in for? I said, he's inexperienced, albeit that he has a season in the Premiership and he'd been with other little mad clubs. I said, he's inexperienced. We're Liverpool Football Club. We are Liverpool. And this is what I said at the time. The unfortunate thing, it fell on deaf ears, but it was proved right anyway. And when we brought in Jürgen, he had a great CV. And this is has this fella got a great CV? So anyway, I'm
hopefully, I know you don't want to hear this, but maybe you're going to be the U.S. men's national team coach soon enough.
Say that again.
Not joking. It's the rumors. There's rumors. We're trying to get Jurgen to become U.S. men's national team coach. It's pie in the sky thinking, but
I don't know though, because anyone should go after Jurgen. Anybody.
Oh, absolutely.
The Premiership can't go after him because he said he's vowed to Liverpool fans and the club.
Yeah.
I will not,
Coach,
another Premiership. But I think you never know. France could go after him. Yeah. I think it's the end of Deschamps.
I think he's too German. He's too German for that.
I think Zidane would be more likely of the coach that they try to bring in. Yeah, because Zidane would always wanted to coach France too.
Yeah, but I think Klopp's too German to take any international country on. I think America, he could do, no problem. But I think France, England, and these type of countries, not for Klopp.
Yeah.
Well, Cedric Lopez, the fellow with the very exotic name, he said, "Got home in time to give you a like, Frank. Big up 12th and JK." Yeah,
that's great. Cedric, I hope you're well, man.
Let's go through some of these lads because the kind enough to have commented. And the Boogie Boy says, "Then why are we after him, bro? You have well-known journalists saying Liverpool were in for him." I don't know. He must be talking to someone else. I'm sorry. After a few beers as well. Harry Kane, at 30 years old, has got less pace than a 40-year-old Ronaldo. How did Kane make it as a player? Slower than Jan Molby. Jan was great. He never moved outside the centre circle. That's all he needed to stay in the centre circle and just passing the ball everywhere. Big Jan.
Harry Kane, for me, I'm a better footballer than Harry Kane because I can never imagine him dribbling past 2 or 3 people and scoring a goal. He's a goal scorer, big time, clinical, don't get me wrong. But as a footballer, I've never seen him actually beat 2 or 3 people and dribble. Like I've never seen him dribble in football. It's like weird. Because he concentrated so much on him scoring goals, He probably just stood there in front of the goal all day, just shooting in the corners all day. Not really dribbling. So it's just weird how you see certain footballers not being actual good footballers.
I don't understand that comment there. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry. I addressed it. Okay. Yes.
I just don't
worry.
Yeah. We're talking football.
That might be a can that you don't want to open.
Yeah, it is. It is. I went to the School of Economics anyway, so I'm more political about the economy and everything else, World Banks and whatever, JP Morgan and that lot. Anyway, does anyone know anything about this new kids we said? Sorry, Messi was king at 17 years old. This Yamal does not compare to me, doesn't it?
Facts, yeah. I agree with you.
The Boogie Boy. Yeah, Trenta plays 1 or 2 games at most. It's a shame. And it's only what someone said about, I think it was it you, 12? Allison was getting the blame for,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No, Trent was getting a blame for how poor England played. A couple of games. How? It seems like every Liverpool player gets picked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the way it is.
Yeah.
It is really crazy.
Yeah. Look, I think that Maka has been one of the better performers for Argentina so far in Copa. I think he's been overlooked in the stature that he's created for himself. I think he's one of the better, if not one of the best players on their team currently. And Argentina has an incredible team. I think that we've already spoken on Lucho. Lucho is hands down one of the best players on Colombia. But because of all of the attention that's drawn to Lucho, a lot of other players have been able to shine for Colombia. Colombia's been really a good team in the Copa this year.
They won 5-0, yeah.
Yeah, I think Nunez, once again, another player in Copa, has been phenomenal. I mean, he had his goal scoring run going on for Uruguay. You know, I think sometimes that doesn't necessarily go with the narrative people like to stick with when it comes to Nunez, because it might mean that there is hope and promise with Nunez, considering he can score. You know, but yeah, I think Nunez has been a definite bright light for this tournament so far. And I think that there's other players out there that are definitely should be given more time to show and prove. But unfortunately, Euros for England, I don't know what it is, if it's an anti-Liverpool or not, but it seems as though they just don't get the right and proper attention, you know, when it comes to trying to bring out players' performances.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's it. And the Anfield Road says what's happening in Europe is what happens in African football. Playmakers are dead in football. Many years ago, JJ Okocha, yeah, he was great, Okocha. I remember him well. And AD Pele and others ruled African. Same as happens in Europe.
Exactly.
Maurice Stan says, yes, Frank, had a few babies, but still no more than most modern fans. Let's see. Bielsa is rubbish modern football. We need to take back our game from the Sharks.
I said that 20 years ago. I said 20 years ago they would destroy football in the same way they destroyed music and the film industry. I said it 20 years ago. And slowly it's coming into effect, you know. Runners, they want runners, you know. They don't want footballers, they want runners. You got donkeys playing the game, getting paid good wages. Come on, you know. Sunday league level sort of football technique wise. Stamina, don't get me wrong, they're like marathon runners, half of them. But technically, donkeys.
Well, the Boogie Boy says, yeah, the way Barcelona are saying that Yamal is their new Messi. I mean, come on. And the Anfield Road. Zidane, when you mentioned Zidane and Baggio and Gaza, etc., is a dead trait now, such a shame. And it is a shame. And this is what we're going on about. That is Daryl. We won't buy, they're too busy buying other clubs. I'm disgusted. It's the way it's going, and I don't know what their owners want. You know, they're into all the franchises of sport. I just haven't a clue. I haven't a clue why he wants another club.
What do you think, 12, about that Bordeaux news this morning?
One, I was speaking on that just earlier too. I can't believe that Bordeaux is in the 3rd division. I can't believe that they're in the 3rd division of France. That's how far down they've sunk in French football. Okay. That is abominable for a historic club like Bordeaux.
Mm-hmm.
For them to be in the 3rd division of France. And I mean, I'm not saying you have to be at PSG levels of expenditures when it comes to trying to keep pace. Because you're not necessarily, if I was owning a club in France, I wouldn't put myself as trying to keep pace with PSG. That's just silly. You know, unless you're a sheik or have that kind of money, it's silly to try to keep pace with that kind of money. But can you keep pace with like Lille? Or like, you know, or like, you know, these other like good clubs.
We're fuming over, you know, we're Liverpool Football Club 12. We're Liverpool Football Club. We're Scousers. Yes. We grew up with them. We love them to bits. We just love them, right? But we're not interested in other, you know, the owners buying other clubs, buying all these kinds of. I watch outside Anfield every effing time. A big fella with a basketball in his arm, but you never walk alone. Getting 32 million pounds a year off us for that. And his name is LeBron James. Who the F is he? We're not interested in baseball. Absolutely not. Baseball. What is it? Basketball.
It's basketball. Yeah.
We're not interested. And we've got a massive picture of him.
Yeah.
That infuriates Liverpool football fans who live by there as well. And they're looking at him and it's passing and they're looking at him. Who's he?
Right.
You've got to understand that. You've got to understand our mentality, our passion, our everything. And that's the way it is. And we don't want our owners who own Liverpool, but they should be concentrating on Liverpool. Nobody else. We're not interested in ice hockey or baseball. Why didn't he just sell? When they came out in the November and said, I said this. He came out and says we're selling. And here's what I said. And I was vindicated. I said as soon as it came out, I said, they're not going to sell because they don't want to buy in the January window. And they'll come out a week or so later and say, oh, we're not selling now. And boy, was I right. 100% right. And that's the way it is. That's why we get infuriated with these owners. This is why we're screaming out for a defensive midfielder. A defensive midfielder. We were screaming out last season for one, the beginning of last season. And Jürgen turned around and said, we'll have to bring one in. He knew because there was no effing money for him. So we brought in Endo and he did a job. But we still needed a DM because he went to these South Asian sports things in the January along with Mo when he went to the AFCON. So we needed a DM. We never bought one to bring him in, to fill his place, Endo's place. And this is what it's all about. It's about financing the pitch. That's what it's about. This is what we're about. Financing the pitch. Getting players in. And now, you're getting like a kid, 15 years of age. We've got loads of them here. And, hopefully he becomes a great player. This is hopefully. They were saying that with Brewster, as I mentioned before. They were saying it with Woodburn. They said it about...
That's what they do, because that's what they need to do.
Now where's fucking Ramsey? Jesus.
The same as Jamal, this Barca people saying now he's the next Messi, because they know one day if they had to sell him, they need to hype him up now to get that price high. It's all about getting that price high. They don't care if you're good or bad. You're a youth player for Chelsea, they're going to say straight away he's the next Ashley Cole or he's the next Drogba, whatever it is, because they know later down the line they need to sell this guy. And if they do, they want to get the best price for him, hence why they say it's gold when it's really copper, So that's the world of football now. It's very money has ruined the game in that way of, like for me, I don't care if Liverpool players wear bin liners. As long as I've got that top DM in there next season, I don't care about the kits. I don't care who does concerts at our ground, if you really look at it. Because at the end of the day, making money out of Liverpool is pretty easy. It's a big market. There's millions of fans around the world. But for me, it all boils down to what Frank just said about the investment on the pitch. That's what every fan cares about. Let's get things right. We don't care about nothing else. We just care about that investment on the pitch. We could wear bin liners with old socks from 2 years, 3 years ago. We don't care. We want that investment on the pitch to win them games. Nothing else.
Bin liners with a number 10 on the back.
It would look good, that would. That would look good. Put a Nike thing in it.
No, you're not.
Pay ourselves.
I know you're not having a go at Rio. I'm not saying you are, but I would say in his defense, Rio is an extremely amazingly talented player. I would have. It says a lot to be 15 and have first team exposure. 15 years old and have first team exposure with Chelsea. Not only that, he plays with the U21s at 16. He plays for England's national team for the U21s. Like that is high praise for a 16-year-old kid. And I understand that we have lots of 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, I'm sure. But to say that they're playing at that level is another thing. That is an incredible accomplishment for a youngster.
Young Jans is 16. Young Jans play for Liverpool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Dan's is. Oh, I'm excited about Dan's. Absolutely.
So, you can't just ignore what he's played for Liverpool, 16 years of age.
Yeah. I'm not saying that.
No, for me, yeah.
But that's
Chelsea are allowing to leave.
But
why?
But the reason why Rio has been interested, this is reported that, or at least it's been what I've read, is that one of the major reasons why he was interested in the Liverpool project is because he was excited. He watched that Carabao Cup final, and he watched these young players get opportunities that normally no young player gets. Now, I get that those young players got those opportunities because of injuries or because of lack of, or because of the depth that we had was definitely pushed to the hilt by the injuries that we had at the time. But again, I think that it's a commendable achievement for a 15-year-old, now 16-year-old kid to look at a team like Liverpool and say, I want to go there because there's a possibility that I will play. I think that's a pot. I know I usually get the silver linings. I get that. I usually pick the silver linings and the positives out of it. But I think that's a positive that you could say because there possibly is that another Endrick style player in South America that might look at it and say, oh, maybe if I do go to Liverpool, maybe there is a pathway towards playing in the Premier League.
That's a good thing.
That's the one.
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah. I understand exactly what you're saying. A lot of the concerns, but I'm saying that is one positive that you could say could come out of engagements like this. I don't want to see another Polish Messi thing happen. I know that's been mentioned, but there's reasons why I think there's reasons why he unfortunately got that nickname, and that put a lot of pressure on him, a lot of tension on him. But there's other players that were playing alongside him that got to that level and got to play. You mentioned Dan's, Kuzma, there's players that had abilities and talent, and they got to play before Polish Messi got to play. There's a reason for that, obviously. So that's just my humble opinion.
That's why for me, that guy, the guy yesterday, when his news came out on social media that we've got him, I'm thinking, I'm not really bothered about who he is, what he does, and whatever. I'm just waiting until he plays the game, and I'll make my judgment then. Because I don't like hyping the youth players, because for me, they don't need that. I just want them to play with a free mind, no pressure, get on with it. The way Kwanzaa and Bradley did it. That's it. It's simple. No pressure, get on with your game. That's why Kwanzaa's done so well, because he never had no hype. We needed a centre back. He was available. He came in. Bradley as well. Yeah.
No, our academy structure is amazing. I think our academy structure is one of the best academies, despite some people might be saying about the academy. I think the structure of our academy is incredible because it humbles the players while they're there. It brings about a good teamwork concept that they bring upon. They definitely understand the Liverpool culture. They get embedded by having the Liverpool culture. They do things such as simple as no phones when you're at dinner or lunch or whatever with the team. No, you can't have your phones out. So many of the culture now when it comes to children or kids, you can hardly pry the phone out of their hands, and it goes back to some of these good moral standings, I think, that yeah, these are the times when sitting at that lunch or sitting at that dinner table, these are the times that you'll be able to build the camaraderie that is important and get a little bit of a sense of not only your teammates, but having the back of your teammates. And I think that's a very positive thing to have for going forward with Liverpool when they get the opportunity to join the big team.
Okay, let's forget about him now, okay?
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
You could go on all night about him.
Sure,
Got to
sure.
read these comments out. This is what this is all about. This is what this pod's all about, reading these comments by these lads and girls who've got, anyway. The Anfield Roar. I totally agree with Frankie and the panel. We don't need a prospect. We need a Rodri fed up of buying potential. That's what our academy is for. We need ready-made articles to compete. This is the scout view. You see what I mean? This is our mentality. This is our passion. As he said, there's loads of. We've got an academy that you mentioned. We've got the best academy.
In my opinion, I think we have one of the best.
Yeah,
Chelsea's academy is amazing too, though.
Not interested in Chelsea, nor their players, nor their academy, nor the ground. Not interested in them. This is Liverpool Football Club. Anyway, not sure about Williams. Looks like he could be another Anthony. Says Judge Red.
Nah, he's better than Anthony Williams.
I think he's better than Anthony. I put a comment in the chat. I think he has better pace and he has better
brain. I think. No.
Yeah, he's not a step over merchant as much as Anthony is, I think.
And the Scottish Bear says, I'm sorry for itching my nose. Scottish Klopp has a huge European pedigree in Germany. This is my worry with Sloot. Zero experience.
Yes, they learn on the job. Yeah.
This is his 6th year job. And people do say, let's give him a chance. We have to give him a chance. We have to. There's nothing else we can do. There's nothing else we can do. If you know what I mean.
That's what I said as soon as he mentioned he was getting the job. I thought, you know what? You can moan how much we want. It don't really make no difference because when that whistle blows in the first game of the season, we want our team to win. And that's the guy who's going to sort of trying to help us fans get happy, So the guy better just carry on, I wish him the best. Whichever manager it is, at the end of the day, for me, Liverpool Football Club have to win that game.
And the Boogie boys, listen to this. I don't know the USA and England's at the moment. I'm with you there, Boogie boy.
You and I both, definitely.
Who's left in the copper? Yeah.
What?
I don't think Henry gets the job.
Who's left in the copper? 12 man.
Canada versus Argentina and Uruguay versus Colombia.
Yeah, they won a penalty shootout, didn't they, Canada?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
And who are they playing next?
They play Argentina.
That's goodbye to Canada, I'm afraid.
It's not a good thing to lose to Canada. I would say if Argentina loses to Canada, then I think Argentina's coach might find himself looking for new employment.
I think the players will as well. Would you agree with what Daryl says? Henry will get the French job. I don't think he's got the experience really to take on a national side. I just don't know. And yeah, you're agreeing with the Boogie boy.
Yeah, I'm all in on that one. I'm all in. I'm taking him out of unemployment at the current time.
Yeah, he says the USA are hot, and that's where the World Cup is next. I can definitely see Klopp managing USA in the future.
2 years we got, what I mean?
Big
Why not?
Yeah,
I
big
can't see
coup.
that. I really, I honestly, I cannot see
It wouldn't be our first Jurgen. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
It'd be my favorite. It'd be my preferred Jurgen, but it wouldn't be our first Jurgen.
How many World Cups has been in America? You know, there's something phony there. And I think it's greed. I really do. There's been a few. How
In
many's
my
been in
lifetime, one.
this country?
There's only been this will be our second World Cup ever.
No, it's
Yeah.
been more than that. It's been
No,
more than that.
94 was our first World Cup. And
Yeah. And what about, and a bit later, was it before then or later? No, you've had more than one World Cup. I'm telling you now.
I don't think so. 94 was the World Cup I remember. I thought 94 was our first World Cup to host it, at least. Meaning to host it, you're saying, right?
Yeah, the host, yeah.
I could double check for you.
One occasion before. Yeah, just the once.
Right.
So this will be their second time. Yeah.
Yeah, it was in Mexico and the USA. It was they played on both sides of the border. They hosted it. Anyway. The Anfield Road looks like US soccer and Mexico have both regressed from the late 90s and early mid 2000s heights of standards. And all we hear in modern media is all these players are so much better.
Oh, I know.
BS.
Yeah.
They're talking about the golden generation. He's talking about the golden generation. That's what they're called because of all the names on this USA men's national team that have they're playing abroad now, and there are quite a few.
Yeah, but they needed the big names in the old days to get the viewers into football. Like when you've seen a guy like Gaza or Maradona take on 3-4 people, it's like, wow, we got to watch this. So they've got the customer base already in now. So now what it is, they've got to make money out of average players, and they can make big money out of these average players. So it's like it's a business, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The Anfield Road, Liverpool 12th man, yes, good, my friends. Interesting subject is football. It's like modern NBA players of mid talents getting multi-million-dollar contracts.
Sure.
They, as fans, are getting short changed.
Mm-hmm.
And Shaq said the other day there's a centre at Utah who average whatever that is, and we're at a 200 million contract, 20 million more than the Shaq at the top of his game per year.
11 points.
Yeah, you have to weigh in inflation as well into that. But yeah, I agree. I understand what you're saying. The NBA has an amazing wage structure. I think the players get about like 60% of the revenues or something like that.
Mm-hmm. There's some mad contracts in the NBA. I know that.
The NBA contracts are absolutely astronomical when it comes to, putting them in comparison.
And NFL as well. Yeah, as well.
Oh yeah.
I've seen some. I've heard about some contracts in that as well. So.
Right, so Barry Stan says 88k. I won't apologise for any of my contributions because they come from my scouts here in Vino Veritas. I love my Liverpool, none other. Where is Norm? We sacked Norm. Norman's gone. Norman's gone back to Brisbane and Australia. He's gone on the sheep farm. No, he hasn't. I haven't a clue where he is. Might be in bed for all that I know, Murray. Yeah, we used to do that in the army. Yeah, see, the army's coming into it now. Question for the panel: What you rather, an expanded stadium for Fenway profits or actual spending in the market like football used to be? Well, I'm being honest now. I've got to say this, and I've got to say it the way it is. The owners don't pay for anything. They don't pay for anything. Absolutely zilch. It's Liverpool Football Club that pays. That pays. Right? It's as simple as that. It just works out like that. Right? So now what they have to do, they have to lift the stand of the Kenny Dalglish stand to get it to the height of the new Anfield Road stand. And then after that, they have to do something with the cup. They'll have to bring it back and lift the stand up. Put another stand on top of the cup. And they could easily do that by building a tunnel over the road, so that, you know, the traffic or anything passing at Anfield won't be disrupted. Simple. But it will cost money. And Liverpool will have to pay for it, like they pay for everything. Like they pay for everything. It's as simple as that. So, yeah, and spend. Do we need players? We've been screaming out for players for years, and we have to wait. We waited 4 years for a midfielder. 4 years. Thiago was the last player, the last midfielder to sign for Liverpool, and we waited 4 years before we got another one. And I was screaming out for midfielders. So do we invest? We don't invest on the pitch. Only when we sell do we invest on the pitch. We're a sell-to-buy club. We're a nice little vendor for someone. Sell-to-buy club. That's what we are. So, yeah, you know, if we want to invest, let's sell someone. Let's sell someone. Anyway, sorry to go on, boys, but that's you've asked a question on thread. What do you think? What the question for the panel? I'll go to you, 12. An expanded stadium for Fenway profits. Now, don't forget, this is what they want, right? Fenway profits or actual spending in the market like football used to be.
How about?
I
already know. It's a loaded question. I already know it is. But hey, look at it this way: the expanded stadium means that more Scousers can go to the games and be able to.
No, corporate. That's where you're wrong. It's corporate.
If it's corporate, that's a different story. Then I'm just saying.
Everything is corporate. Listen, 12.
So they're selling all those things. Yeah, I was gonna say all those things. Sure.
Let me finish on this. Yeah. Let me finish. I took my granddaughter for the first time, because I've been with my other grandkids, to the game, and I wanted to bring my little granddaughter with me, so that I can always say, at least I've seen a game with my granddaughter, and she's 12 now, and she was just turned 12. It was 11. It was the Southampton game, the cup game. And I brought her. She was made up. She said, "This is great, Granddad." So anyway, I said to Francie, when we played Crystal Palace, when we got beat, remember? And I said to Francie, and I said, try and get 3 tickets. I said, do your best. I asked around, and they said I couldn't get in. So anyway, she came back to me. She said, yeah, Dad, there's 3 going, but it's corporate. And she said, here's what it'll cost. It'll cost £1,020 for a ticket. So that would have cost me £3,060 to go to that game. Corporate. That's what it's about. And a scary Liverpool fan, why they're building these things, and it's not for Scousers, really. It's not. That's a fallacy. That's a myth. That's a legend. It'll go into the folklore of legend myths about Liverpool historically, because it's all about corporate stuff, and that's what it's about. Believe you me. So, what would you rather spend on?
After that answer,
Now, for me, if you spend on the pitch, after that, you make more money anyway, because more people buy shirts after that success. You know, if you're getting relegated every season, less people are buying your shirts. The more you win, the more shirts you sell, for example. More people want to come to that stadium to watch that football. You can build a bigger stadium, you know. So for me, number one priority should always be the pitch, because from that you can make a lot of money.
Darryl says all you will get from these owners is, "Oh, we tried to buy, behave, get out of my club." That's what he says. Darryl. Leader Wiz kids, evening Frank, JK, 12th and chat.
Bless, bro. Hope you well.
He wants to come in from the pub. The Boogie Boy. I put it into context. Yamal is a Manu type player. Proper generation talent. Not sure if we found a GOAT, but who is the GOAT? The 12th's the GOAT. He's come on. Finally come on. So
yeah,
listen.
but I understand what he's trying to say there about he's a good player, that lad, Yamal, but he's no Messi.
Look at that, the unfair. Let's see Frank's reaction to that. It's only what I said about the corporates, about the, investing on the pitch. They could do both. They could do both, Anfield. They really could. We have a phenomenal collateral. If FSG don't like what they're doing, just sell. Like they said, just sell. They're worth $5 billion. Just sell it for $5 billion. But then you'll get moaners. You'll get the Deschamps face moaners, if you know what I mean. Because we were talking before that Deschamps has got a moany face, And if we sold, say, like to a Middle Eastern owner, he'd be mad. He's a one oil money and all this nonsense. So garbage. But anyway, that's me. I have a question. Is we never strengthened our squad after winning the title and Champions League, JK?
100%. That's why I never really got back the owners, because I realised when you're at the top, to stay at the top, you got to go that extra mile, and they never did it after the Champions League win. So for me, that was everything I needed to know about these guys.
Go ahead, 12.
I do. Okay, so I will ask this then back. I know Thiago was a big name. It's not a relatively big name that we brought in. I get that. And I'm going to go even back before we can include the era before Jurgen, because I know often sometimes people get a little bit angry when people only focus on the Premier League or the Premier era. I'm just asking for a list. This isn't me trying to poke it or anything like that. I'm just asking, what names have Liverpool brought in that were already established?
You're going down. You're digging the hole. You're filling in.
I'm just asking. No, I'm asking so that I can.
You're going down the rabbit hole. We mentioned that before.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. For my own knowledge.
No, we were talking about you the day, shouldn't we? Unless you were taking no notice.
What players though? What players would you say? That were already established players.
Listen to me, 12, please.
Yeah.
Listen.
Right.
We didn't buy an effing midfielder for 4 years.
No, that's not.
I should be up there at Anfield. I should be on that board saying this is what we effing well need. Get them in now. That's what I should be doing.
Right.
And we would have been better off. Did we buy anybody? Did we strengthen?
No. That's why I said before. That's why I said before Premier League. I'm just asking in our history because I know when people might say, I remember when we bought Fernando Torres. Actually, Torres wasn't necessarily. He was definitely a promising player, but he wasn't the best.
He was playing for Spain. He was brilliant.
At the time, he
Fernando
wasn't.
Torres.
Before he came to Liverpool, he wasn't the best striker in the world.
Yeah. No.
I know, Frank. I get it. I love El Nino's one of my favorite players. All I'm saying is, in this, like as in, when PSG bought Neymar was an established name, an established player, a world-class, renowned player that everyone knew. All I'm asking is, in Liverpool's history, who would that list include that we've gone out and this is even before FSG. I'm talking about like throughout the history of Liverpool. What players were there that we actually went out that were already established, glorified, established, world-renowned players?
John Barnes, Peter Beardsley, Kenny Dalglish, Kevin Keegan.
Okay, they were all the best. They were all the best before they came to Liverpool.
No, Liverpool made them better as well.
Except Keegan.
Liverpool made them better. Right.
Well, Johnny Barnes was.
Thiago for me. Thiago is the one guy.
I'm just asking a question. I'm not trying to.
But he was injury prone.
Yeah.
Thiago. Keita made more appearances, and we were always going on about how injured he was, Keita. And he made more appearances. And he was there in a shorter time.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's really looking at, the way we brought in Alisson and we brought in the other fella, Virg, right? Great players. Great.
Virgil wasn't regarded as the greatest. Virgil became the greatest.
Oh, Virgil was brilliant. Come on.
Okay, I'm not saying he wasn't brilliant. But what I'm trying to say is that
he was good, but we made him better.
We made him better, though.
Yeah.
It's like Mane. Mane was a good player before he came to Liverpool, but we made him world class. We made him Liverpool and the stature.
Who made him world class, though? Who made him world class?
Yeah, Klopp. I'm just asking a question. I wanted to compile a list because I get asked this question quite a bit. And I personally don't really have that long of a list of players that I could say wasn't, a player like you could. Michael Owen was a part of Liverpool before, like as in it's not like we transferred for Michael Owen, or it's not like we brought in Steven Gerrard, like as in, these players were a part of Liverpool already. So what players were incredible players, world-class players that we went out and bought that world-class player and brought them to Liverpool? That's all I was asking. I'm not making a condemnation on anything. I'm just asking so I can know for my own historical background too.
Well,
it's not as easy as sometimes.
Graham Souness, for example.
Okay.
Brilliant player. Look, you mentioned Fernando Torres was playing for Spain. He was first choice for Spain. That's why Rafa wanted him. He'd seen him a few years before, and he was a kid.
Right.
And when he came to Liverpool, we knew that he was a great player. And I seen him on his debut against Chelsea when he scored in the cup.
Mm-hmm.
I was there. He was unbelievable. And then he went on from there.
Absolutely. I think we made him. I think Gerrard made him a better player, but I get what you're saying.
But I understand what you're saying about, did we sign any world-class players?
Yeah, that were already established. That's all I'm asking. Yeah, I was just like, is there a world-class? I mean, Thiago is a world-class player, already established, was already, has a boatload of trophies behind him, that kind of concept, has like the renown, albeit putting his injury record aside, but he was a world-class talent. That's all I'm trying to get across. And that was one of the few times I've seen Liverpool go out and get a player like that. That's why I was asking if there were other players that maybe the chat could come up with, or I was, notably you two guys are definitely two people that know the history of Liverpool. That's what I was asking.
For me, Thiago is the sort of only. Yeah, John Barnes was doing it for Watford and for England and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, but for me, out of the whole history of being a Liverpool fan, Thiago is the only sort of guy we brought who was actually been there, done it at another club before he came to Liverpool and done it.
Right.
Like Virgil,
yeah.
Like exactly what I just said there, bro. It's like Virgil was very good at Southampton, Mane also, but they never won anything.
They weren't right. Virgil is an incredible player. I'm one of the biggest Virgil fans, but I mean, it's not like people were saying that Virgil van Dijk was the best fullback or center half in the world before he came to Liverpool. That's just.
I'm not bothered about like if I know that the solid players, solid. I always remember a friend of mine when we were signing Alisson. And he went, how can we sign him when, we scored 5 against them?
Yeah, we did. Yes, we did.
I said, because he's great. He's a great keeper. Because I follow Serie A, you see. And I'm seeing it. Anyway, and that's what I'm saying about, some players, solid players. And it was Klopp who made them great. You had Shankly who made players great.
Sure, absolutely.
Albeit that we had great, they were great players anyway, but they made them better. Then they like to Bob Paisley. Well, he brought on he brought in 2 players every season. Every season he brought 2 players in, and he won 3 European Cups. No one has, in a short span, has won more trophies than Bob Paisley. Incredible. And you had to win the European Cup. You had to be champions of your country. Your country. He won 3 European, the only manager to do it at the time at the same club. Right? So you had him. Then you had Kenny. Kenny brought in some good players. And he brought in some good ones as well. And it wasn't until, believe it or not, until Jurgen Klopp came along, because we were in the doldrums through the 90s. We had great players, but we never had the manager in place to improve those great players. I'll just give you 2, for example. Just give you 2. Stevie McManaman and Robbie Fowler. Unbelievable players.
Absolutely.
Jamie Redknapp. Unbelievable. These were all lads. They were incredible. They were called the Spice Boys. But we could have done a lot more if we would have had a decent manager. Then we brought Ulia. He did all right. And then nothing after that. Absolutely nothing. Doldrum time. And then Jurgen came along. Transformed the club. But unfortunately, he didn't get the investment that should have been. I don't care what anyone says. He didn't get anyway. That's what that's me. And even the Boogie Boy says, do FSG see players? FSG need to go. And that's the way they were. And Boogie Boy says Neymar was doing it for Barcelona before he went to PSG, and he was.
That was the reason for my example, though. I mean, Neymar had already won things with Barcelona. He was already an established world-class star before he went to PSG. So that would be the kind of transfer I was asking. That's all.
Yeah, but I've said it, and I'll say it again. Unfortunately, and as JK says as well, we should have invested.
I agree with that completely. Yeah, we missed a prime opportunity to invest. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I was on a channel where they went like that, we wouldn't have won the league because we were unlucky. And I went, what do you mean we wouldn't have won the league when we got beat by 1 point? I said, if we would have invested, we could have had better players. And one of those better players would have scored 1 goal to win a drawn game. We would have won the league. And he couldn't resonate with that. Well, and you just...
That's how I see it. Yeah.
That's
how I see football. You pay the extra bit.
You don't argue with them fellas, or you don't discuss with them fellas. You just say, okay. Fair enough.
I can understand that. I heavily agree. I don't know if you want me to comment or not. You want to read through?
Well, Murray Stan says top class signings. Kenny, Allison, Verge, Barnes, Beardsley, Suarez, Torres, Mascherano. But it's not what has gone before, it's what we need now. With very young squads, only top players should be signed. I think that's a crack. And Callum Grunshaw, that's so big, that isn't it? That's like, not being funny, Callum, but that's like a Charles Dickens name. The way he brings out these names like Mr. Grind, all these, odd consonants. And Callum Grunshaw, Liverpool's next owner, gun big, whatever that is. Thank you. And Boogie Boy says, Frank, definitely we should have talked about. And Ian Mack, Charlie Adam was world class. We beat Barcelona and Real Madrid to acquire his services.
I was going to say, yeah. You're having a laugh with that one, Ian. Good one. I like it.
Hurt you well, Ian.
12, I said at the time, what the F are we signing this fella for? Honestly, it's like Andy Carroll. We sold Fernando Torres to bring in Andy Carroll. And that was the Irishman, wasn't it? Is that the Irishman? Yes, of course it was the Irishman. Yeah. And we brought in Mario Balotelli. Hey, Mario.
There you go. Super Mario.
So, you could say. And
he was regarded as world class. That could have been an answer for you.
Okay.
And Jay says Luis Garcia, shall we say Luis Garcia, and Morientes. Morientes was a great player, but unfortunately he was just coming down the hill.
Very close to the cliff.
And the Boogie Boy. Hey, when are you doing a ringer next? Says the Boogie Boy. I'll sort it out with the producer, Jason. Jason will be a bit. Jason, the producer, just doesn't like football. It's the only scouser in the world who doesn't like football.
Oh, no.
Just doesn't like it. And he just said, I'll leave it up to you guys. He's great, Jason, but he'll be in bed now. Listen, 12th, it's been great to see you.
Yeah.
It's
been a pleasure as always. It's always a pleasure. I don't mind the controversial topics sometimes that I have to take on.
No, you've got to. Yeah, this is what it's all about. Look.
Yeah.
You're at the Anfield Road, and he was made up because he said, "I want to see Frank's reaction," because. It's what passion is all about.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
It's all passion. That's what it's
I get sometimes told to take down the passion that I have for the club, which I don't understand. I sometimes I see people get, tell me that I'm too supportive, or I'm too invested in Liverpool. And I go, it's something that brings me joy, and it's something that's been when you connect to something, especially to a sport that has meant something in your life, I say go with it. Whatever brings you happiness, that's what you should try to find the pursuits, or try to find a pathway towards. And Liverpool is that for me. So that's why I can understand your passion, and I can understand the frustrations as well.
Yeah.
You don't do things half-hearted, bro, and that's the best way to do anything. If you're gonna do half-hearted, don't do it at all. If you're gonna do it, do it properly. Simple as that.
Hey, I'm always there for. I'm often the target when it comes to sometimes some of the players getting unnecessary flack and the likes. I don't go for that on my watch, at least.
No, you do it properly.
Can I ask you something? This is a bit controversial for you, Swell.
Okay.
But you don't have to. You don't have to answer it.
No.
But it's a straightforward yes or no. But I don't want to go into it. You see, I really don't, because I'm a very political person, right? Does football, like what you do yourself on your own channel, right? And when you come on here, right? Does it take away the problems that you have back at home in the USA?
Sure.
Political problems.
Yes, absolutely.
So you delve into football.
Yeah. I believe it's unfortunately for a lot of us, and I say fortunately and unfortunately, Liverpool is a place that I find solace in. It's my moments of serenity sometimes can be found within this game, and within watching my team play, especially when we play well. It's something that sometimes doesn't get communicated well to those that don't look at it from that perspective. And it's difficult sometimes for them to understand what that means. But look, I often say it. I started watching this club in the 90s. I know I don't have as long of a history as some others, but that's now, a well over 30 years now. Yeah, it's 3 decades of my life that I've been supporting this club. And one thing I can say, though, is that during that 90s run, it wasn't like I got to enjoy the 80s or the 70s, when they were lifting trophies and sharing buses with Everton and stuff like that. I didn't get to experience those stages of Liverpool. But the stages that I did embark on were the stages where we were going through difficult times financially, going through bringing in questionable players, playing in games that we should have won, but we didn't win, and that's why that era of Klopp meant so much to me, is because I didn't get that Camelot run that a lot of the 80s and those before that got to embark on. I know you didn't want a big answer, but that's why often when it comes to a lot of the perceptions that I have, I'm going on the perceptions of what I've lived through. And what I've lived through, I've been some really incredible players, teams, managers, moments. But if anything, the moments that I really embrace are the fact that Klopp has restored this club to a level of excellence that I've been only told about. I've only had to be the honor of reading or seeing footage of, and didn't necessarily live through it. Now, with that resurgence with Klopp, I've had at least that moment to say, I've seen greatness. I've seen something that can really be, put onto any type of a pedestal with those other teams of yesteryear. And I appreciate
Do you know what? I only asked you a simple question.
I know. Sorry.
And I was thinking, no, I'm a retired lecturer.
Mm-hmm.
And when I asked the question, it was a female actually.
Mm.
And I used to look at it, and I used to ask the, my undergraduates, as I call them, a certain question. And I always try to avoid, because when I ask the question, to the others, they just say, well, yeah, and gave me an answer in a sentence, a quick sentence.
Sorry about that.
Right? And
Yeah.
this girl just went on. I've got a dissertation off it.
I bet.
And all the eyes rolled up. All the other students, all the eyes rolled up. Where we go. And it was just a simple question anyway. And Ali Noosh all the way from Romania. Are you still around? It's 2 a.m. here. But that's good news, Frank. Late streams are always nice.
Well, this is US time now.
Yes, this is US time. Yep. Hour away from kickoff for Argentina and Canada.
Mm-hmm. What are they playing today, yeah? So, okay.
Yep, they play in an hour.
McAllister playing.
Yes, Cup of America, yeah. Mary Stan, thanks for the show, Frank and JK and all the chatters. It's 1 o'clock local time, and I had more than a few as all the lads in the local bought me a drink. Blame them if my comments are too radical for use. Say what you want. And Ali Noosh, I want to see your comments. You seem to be on the same wavelength as FK, Monty Reds. I don't know what that means. But anyway, I hope Russia and UK stop fighting because it's cold. I hope it stops soon.
I agree with that. I hope it stops as well.
I do. Boogie Boy, Ukraine will only stop if USA, NATO, UK stop supplying. Absolutely. Bang on. And what are you, Stan? I'm not getting into that now. I've got if you're interested, I've got a show coming on. It's a podcast. And it's very political. And it's about what's going on in the Middle East. What's going on, and also Ukraine.
Oh wow, you're not avoiding any of the hot topics, hot button topics. Those are some very controversial.
It'll be hard hitting because I don't follow the Western narrative, so you can think about that, people. So that's it. Listen, I've got to end this.
Yes,
it's 12
certainly. I understand.
Unless you want to go on for another half an hour, because Colin Zyke says, "What a Frankie boy! Is this the midnight matinee?"
It's a late one. Yeah, it's good.
And the Boogie Boy says, "Love you, Frank. I'd love to get involved in a thing with you, bro. I'll have you on the show if you want."
Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah.
Boogie Boy.
Voice your opinions. Yep.
Yeah. So you can be like, the 12th there. You can be like the JK there. You can be like Frankie. Just come on.
Just give us a link that we can contact. We'll send you a link out. No problem.
And the point is, I won't allow drink. I had a fella on once. It was always drunk.
I was going to say tipsy.
And
okay.
I think he was having to go with the wacky backy as well. But I don't know. This is a clean show.
Yeah.
It's a passionate show. I try to get all your comments out. Every comment. It's just like, I think I try to get all the comments up because you're there. You're writing comments. You're taking your time to write comments. whether it's going to be a little controversial, but it's mainly football. It's Liverpool Football Club. That's who I'm interested in. Not interested in anybody else. Only the Azzurri, so, and Inter, and Napoli. Only because granddad and uncles,
Yeah, they might come after you on that one. Yeah.
It's incredible, honestly. Mary says, good night and good morning all. Love Liverpool, whatever our differences. I love you all. Definitely.
That's the way it should be.
Hey, I'll tell you what. 12. The first time I met you, I think it was on your show. First time I ever met you, and someone mentioned something. I don't know whether it was that Brian lad or whatever. I'm getting married to this girl. And I went, oh, you getting married? I didn't even know she's a singer, isn't she?
Yeah, Dua Lipa. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice, And I was talking to my daughter, and he's getting married, and I remember the name, and she went, "Go away, is he?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "She's brilliant." I said, "Do you know her? Who is she?" I didn't even know who Taylor Swift was.
Funny. Oh wow! Okay.
Coming to I thought it was a new backroom staff or somebody. Said, "Can you get me any tickets?" I said, "Taylor Swift, who's he?" That's what I said.
I thought it was a fast winger. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I knew DM, but she did brilliant for us.
Yeah.
She gave
Taylor Swift
lots of money.
She did a lot of charitable actions after that.
Oh, she was wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of hers now because, she was so good to the city of Liverpool.
Yeah. Yeah. She made a point to contribute very heavily to a lot of the causes going on in Liverpool, which is noble. I mean, look, a lot of these people could come in, take their money and leave. But it is commendable for those that try to give back to the community, and that's what she did.
But you know what? In all honesty, what you've got is the likes of that girl. She's only a young girl, very talented girl, and what disappointed me at the old scenario. What disappointed me. Whether she knew about it, I don't know. If she would have sang a last song, what do you think of it?
Yeah, of You'll Never Walk Alone or something.
Oh.
Yeah. I think she did do something connected to You'll Never Walk Alone on some of her advertisements for it, though, I think, or something along those lines, trying to give proper respect for Liverpool. I can say that.
But just imagine those singing that as a finale.
Yeah, that would have been nice. That would have been really cool.
Oh, it would have been fun. Never mind. Yeah. But anyway,
I'll talk to Dua and see if she'll sing it. How about that?
Yeah. Oh my God. Here I've spoken to Beyonce,
Oh yeah, there you go, Beyonce. Yeah, I know you said that.
She had this fella next to her, and I said, "Who's he?" She said, "Oh," I said, "Are you a manager?" And he said, "No." I said, "Well, what do you do?" He said, "I'm a rapper." And I went, "Oh, are you?" Jay-Z is his name.
Yeah, it is Jay-Z. Yep.
But he was laughing. They were good.
Oh, I bet that probably tickled him.
They were falling about, They were so funny, and he was just made up, I think it's nice for anyone who's a global star, and there's someone who doesn't know them.
Yeah.
It happens. Yeah.
But I said to her, when I first seen your name, I couldn't work it out. I was saying Botsy, but she was laughing.
It makes a difference. I mean, there's a reason why Messi is able to go to Messi, world star, world talent, obviously, but he's able to go to Miami and go to he was in the supermarket, buying buying groceries. That's not going to happen to him in Barcelona or in Paris.
No.
It's just not happening.
It was like John Lennon. When John Lennon went to live in New
York. Yes, certainly.
He just said it out. He said, New York's like Liverpool, he said. But there's a big difference. He said, if I was walking about in Liverpool, I'd be mobbed.
Yeah.
He said, but here, he said, I could just walk out and people say, hey, John, how are you?
Yeah, and keep it moving.
Hey, John, I like your work, So that gave him the freedom. And it's just like what you said about the likes of Messi.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's
fantastic. Yeah. It's one thing people work for that pain, but then when they get it, sometimes it brings about, it makes you lose a bit of your freedom.
Yeah. There's a price to pay.
It's a price to pay.
Yeah.
Jurgen said it himself, actually. Jurgen said it like, when Jurgen couldn't go out for a pint or just a casual meal with his wife, and there's no hey, how many times you're going to interrupt someone during their meal?
Yeah, that's true.
That can get old pretty quick.
Listen, I'm just going to put something on here. I forgot to do it all night, and it's this, and it's a coach tour, of Liverpool. And we visit a place that, there's lots of people who have never seen, and it's called Williamson's Tunnels. I set the president for all the tunnels, railway tunnels around the world. And it's absolutely amazing. So anyway, that's on the 25th of July. And I was looking at the long-range weather forecast, and it said, Frank, it's going to be great day for you. It's going to be nice and sunny. And you're all going to that's the weather forecast. But anyway, I'll give you more detail. And there's the number. And you'll have to contact a girl named Lynn. But when am I on next? I'm on Thursday. Is Thursday? Is there another match on Thursday evening?
No, there's one today, Wednesday,
tomorrow.
and that's it. Yeah.
So there's no matches. There's no matches on Thursday.
No.
Okay, so I'll be back on Thursday at the usual time of 8:00, and hopefully we'll have the regular guests on, and it should be good. And let's see what. P.S. Frank, you might get some phone calls from friends in Dublin for your history tour. All need to get the Monday night show. Yeah, you don't need to, because I still do the wonderful football show with our lovely guests and shouting at the panel shouting at us, and we're all disagreeing with one another, but we're all great. We're all still great friends because we're all Reds.
Exactly.
That's the main thing. We're all Reds. And I know that you're mentioning this, Ali Nuski. He's a really talented player, but Italian players and Premier League are difficult mix. No Italians have ever made it.
No, not since the 80s. Yeah.
And he's injury prone.
Yeah.
And the way we play in the Premiership, he'd be like every other injury-prone player, unfortunately. That's in my opinion. That really is, in my opinion.
Okay, put it this way: can you name the last Italian player to win a Premier League?
Aspilicueta?
No.
No.
You want to take a stab at this one, Frank?
You kept the last player to be was it
last Italian player?
Carlo Franco, Zola.
It would be Super Mario. That says something right there.
Well, Zola was a great player, you know,
Yeah.
in the Premiership. But someone said, what about Ruud Gullit? Ruud Gullit was Dutch, not Italian. Not Italian.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's see.
I think Jorginho won it, but Balotelli won it with City later after Chelsea had already won it.
Mm-hmm.
Christian DeWitt. What's the actual goal for Liverpool next season? Because from what I'm hearing, everyone seems to give everyone a new slate, even though they've been cracked in loan spells. Yeah.
I don't know about that statement there, Christian.
Well,
I mean, only because if you want me to take a stab at that one, I was going to say, look, Owen Beck has been regarded as being pretty phenomenal for on his play. You know, even Fabio Carvalho, a player that got loaned to Hull, has been phenomenal for Hull. I know that there are other players out there that have been on loan that have been doing well, and even before that, some of the notable players that were on loan that got to play this year for us were players that had been players of the year for their teams, if not for the leagues. So.
Well, it's like, what do you think, JK? Before I take the
I'm like this, you know, personalities clash, this, that, and the other. So for me, Fabio Carvalho, his personality sort of clashed with Klopp, hence why he was given out on loan and that. So he did pretty well at Hull. For me, he can come in if there's an opportunity for him to get a game and show what he can do. Fair play to him, you know what I mean? I'm not going to be all like, no. For me, like Kwanzaa and Conor Bradley last season were given a chance and they took it. There you go.
I think that's a good point because I was watching them in training. I think the focus was on Carvalho for some reason, you know, and he seemed to be enjoying himself. He seemed to be enjoying himself because it's only what you said there, JK, that he had a bust up with Jürgen and that's why he was sent out on loan. I think he's a good little player himself. I really do. But it's whether, you know, he'll go out on loan. And the Ali News says, Carvalho problem is his position. He plays left wing. There we have too many. You're right. And you're right. You're so right.
I think I can understand what you're saying. I was going to say, I think he plays more of a 10, unfortunately, and we don't have a 10 in this system. In my opinion, I think that he's more of a 10 than he is a left wing. And that's the problem, is that we don't play a 4-2-3-1. So since we don't have a need for a 10, technically, he's kind of a player without a position, in my opinion.
I think a lot of players last season before, were playing out of position as well.
Yeah.
Lots of them. Last season, you know, there's McAllister. He was throwing in the number 6. Yeah. And then when he did play in his rightful position, he was great. Szoboszlai, he was playing out of position all season. When you think about
another name that didn't get mentioned, I'm surprised JK didn't mention him, since, you know, he plays in his country currently, and that is Sepp. Sepp had a phenomenal year out on
Mainz. Yeah.
Do you know what impresses me most? I'll tell you what impresses me most about the chats. They spell our players, our foreign players, right. They get them right. I always remember that Sabozlai, when he first came, I couldn't even pronounce his name. And this fella, you know, Scouser, he's just went Sob, Boz, Lie. You know the way he did it. So brilliant the way he did it. Sob, Boz, Lie, you know. He spaced it, you know. And that was great. Sob, Boz.
Right, phonetically. Yeah.
You know, so it's how he spelt it. He went.
Yeah.
He went SOB, hyphenate, BOZ, hyphenate, LIA, Sob, Boz, Lie. And he's so right. And that was right away.
Yes.
I said, I can't pronounce this fella's name because he was, you know, when I came up, when we just signed him, I said, I can't pronounce his name.
Right.
And the fella right away, back here. This is how you spell it. Must have known him. But it's absolutely brilliant. And as Ali the news says, Macker is the real number 10, Cavallo is more a forward.
Agreed.
And,
I agree. I'm not saying that Mac is not a 10. Mac is certainly a 10. More a 10 than he is a DM, probably.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, lads. Where are all the lasses? I'm still here in the early hours. Do I get a brownie point? I think the lads in the young squad need to be at their best with a weak coaching staff. Oops. I think Christian DeWitt is DeWitt is a Dutchman, you know, with that name, DeWitt. Because do you know the proper way to pronounce slot? 12.
No, not. I know that the L's are pronounced differently. I know that, but
Well, it's Sloot.
Sloot. Yeah. Okay.
Sloot. Yeah. We had two Dutch lads on, and they're nice lads, or whatever. They could be in Oxford. They haven't been in Oxford. But anyway, they said Sloot. Christian DeWitt, a Liverpool supporter, should always believe in aiming for the top trophies every season. And that's what we're all about, Mary. Passion, trophies, love Liverpool, and we support them through thick and thin. Well, listen, lads, I've got I have to be up early in the morning. I have
Yeah. I'll save. I had a story. I'll save for another time.
No, go on. Say it.
No. I was just gonna say real quick that it was a funny story. We're talking about pronunciation of names, and I remember I'm trying to think of who it was, but it was like a legendary announcer, because they get the list of names of players and they get the proper pronunciations of the names, but they often players will sometimes like for instance Cody Gakpo. That's not how you pronounce his name in Dutch. But like he'll say, or even like Diego Jota. His name isn't pronounced Diego Jota. That's not how you pronounce it in Belgium. But because it's an accepted pronunciation, they'll allow for it to be an English interpretation of their name. And he was talking about how, for instance, Bruno's last name is not It's not pronounced Fernandez. It's pronounced like Fernandez or something.
Yeah.
It's like a different pronunciation. I'm sorry I'm not getting it correct, but it's not Fernandez. But he goes by Bruno Fernandez simply because that's the accepted English pronunciation of it.
Well, that's right, because we phonetically pronounce phonetically, names, and that's the way. It's like Garcia. Someone mentioned Garcia before. We say Garcia, whereas in Spain it's Garcia. The list.
Right.
For some reason, yeah. Well, I know the reason why. I know it's to fool the Moors when they invaded Spain all those years ago. And that's why.
Yeah, it's just funny. I thought it was funny. It's funny because it's almost like when I see Gabriel Jesus. I remember because someone was trying to bring up Jorge Mendes, and they were saying George Mendes, and I'm like, you mean
Yeah.
you know, I'm like,
Yeah.
isn't that George Mendes?
Mhm.
Is that like someone? Is that
Cockney
the
guy,
comedian?
Londoner.
I don't. Right.
But tango size of the
George
names, the
Lopez?
tango size of the names, and people shouldn't do that. You
Right.
know, as it says, it's phonetically we pronounce we see the name and phonetically we pronounce it that way, with the
Right.
exception of Sabozway.
Right, exactly. And that's always a funny thing. I asked another commentator one time. I was asking him. I said, "Well, then, if you say, I'm like, how do you say Jesus' name?" Or I said Jesus, but I was like, "Do you call him Jesus?" I mean, like, his name's not
Silent
Jesus.
J.
Yeah.
It's a silent J. And
Oh,
I always remember in the 80s, there was one of the greatest series, and it was so authentic and real, and it was called Hill Street Blues.
oh yeah,
And
sure.
there was
Great
one of these,
series.
like,
Sure.
little gangsters, like young gangsters.
Mhm.
And his name, he's a great actor, this fella, by the way. They were all great actors in that.
Mhm.
And his name was Jesus.
Hey.
They had like and they showed the name, if you know what I mean, on the board.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, Jesus, and it was Jesus.
Mhm.
You know, that's how it's pronounced.
Sure.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's funny.
Really,
It's funny.
it is, And the alley news says, thank God tomorrow I work from Hope, and he means home. I work from Hope.
We all work from hope. We all work from hope too.
Thought he's a priest then, yeah.
It definitely is. It should be the motivating factor in all things. Hope.
Yeah, look at that. We must be doing something right, because Mary Stan, who said about 2 hours ago, I'm going to bed. See you later, boys. Thanks for the show. She said, thanks. I'm starting in about 4 hours. So a last good night. See you on Thursday. Best wishes. And Ali Noose, neighbour, because she comes from Montenegro and Ali comes from Romania. And you're from the States. So it's an international one. And we had Brian on before. He came from Ireland. So, and kisses, Marie. Enjoy your work, says Ali Noose. Don't start going into all this. Right. So listen, boys, I'm saying good night.
Yes.
Thank you so much, 12.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me on.
Especially the
Blessings.
chat. I've got to mention the other fella as well, Jason, who's in bed now. He's dreaming.
Yeah,
And,
top fella.
for setting everything up.
Yeah.
It's without the chat, there'd be no podcast. Thank you so much, chat. See you all on Thursday. See you all on Thursday.
Take care, guys.
Bonkers says still with us. Argentina and Canada in half an hour. But anyway, that's it. So listen, any of you who would like to come on, let me know, and I'll love you on. And right there on the screen. Okay. See you soon. Thank you so well. See you all on Thursday, 8 o'clock. 12th. Thank you. JK. Thank you. See you soon, boys. See you soon.